A photographer stole my images for 8 years and profited from them, and then sent me a cease and desist so that I wouldn't talk about it. Let's talk about it. On March 22nd, I received an email from a follower of mine that this person, Tanisha Lloyd with Angelic Ice Fantasy and Styled Photography, was using my images right here to market and advertise and book sessions. I immediately went to her page and saw that she had been using a lot of my images. Not just using them, but removing my watermark, placing her watermark over them, and claiming they were hers to book sessions and profit. Here's one. Here's my original image. As you can see, she put her watermark on it, removed mine. Another, placed her watermark on it. Here's the original. Here's another. The original. Another. Another. These are mine. Another. 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 And you could even see that she was stealing this from my website, and the website has a grid watermark on it. She couldn't remove that, so she would remove my watermark here, but she could not remove the grid lines, which I instantly realized she was actually stealing images from my digital store too. This was an image of my stepdaughter. This is actually my stepdaughter's body, as you can see here, and she just replaced the head. And you can also see again the grid lines present in this image. As I went through and found, again, grid lines, the sheer volume of what she'd taken, I sent an email to her. In the email, I notified her that I was aware that she had infringed on it, that she was to remove it, that she was also displaying my images on her website and they were to be removed. She responded and said she was trying to figure out what was going on because she's dealing with the sabotage of an admin. At this time, I did not realize that this went back 8 years. The images that I sent her were dated March 11th. She claimed that she fired an admin and that person sabotaged her by downloading my photography, removing my watermark, adding her watermark, and using it to help her profit by booking sessions. So I stated, this is the oldest excuse. I'm not buying it. The post that I shared with her was actually 11 days ago, so it didn't even fall into it. And I stated, I also see that you've got a lot of my digital backgrounds, prove that you purchased those. And I knew that she couldn't. And she said, well, I purchased off Etsy. She sent me 8 or 7 purchases from different shops that were clearly none of them from me and none of them were my backgrounds. So I stated, these are not from you. You have never purchased from me. Remove them. And then I sent her a video showing of the ones that I saw on her website. And again, at this time, I did not realize the extent of what she'd stolen. But after she used these excuses, I began researching. She claimed that she was going to contact her website guy. Then she said that they were moved. And then she removed. And then she stated, oh, I don't know what happened. They were on the website back in 2017. Well, I knew at that point that was a lie. Some of these backgrounds are from 2017, but the majority of them are between 2018 and 2025. So at that point, I took my time to do some research. I researched for 2 days, and then I decided to leave a review on her photography page. And I stated very simply that she had stolen from me, and I'll show you that in a minute when I show you the response to the cease and desist and my counter demand. And I said that it does not stop me from seeing your infringement. If you have an attorney, let me know. I will be sending invoices. I sent her an invoice. She did not respond. And so the next day I stated, you didn't respond. While I don't prefer to sue you, I will. If you don't respond, I'm moving forward, and this is my last email to you. This was my last email to Tanisha. I had not contacted her since. After I made the review on Facebook, I also posted a review on her Google because she removed my review by disabling reviews on Facebook. And then I made a video on TikTok, which basically shows this photographer stole my images and put her watermark on them. This is illegal. Stop stealing. That's it. So then I received a cease and desist. Let me pull that up. This is the cease and desist. Now, this is a little strange. There's no physical mailing address, but the email that it came from seems legit. However, I don't know why she sent this here because our only communications were legal at terramapes.com. So this is what it says. We act on behalf of Angelic Ice and Tanisha Lloyd. We confirm that our client was contacted by your office on March 22nd, claiming that our client infringed. Your office provided our client with an hour to remove the images, to which she complied with no proof. With no proof of watermark, even though she knows they're not her images. Notwithstanding the above, you, yourself, and various individuals persisted in online harassment of her via social media, including local advertising platforms. We are of the opinion that these actions violate various laws, including but not limited to cyberbullying, defamation, privacy, and respect. We are instructing you to, the final demand, to immediately desist from actions and remove all negative reviews. We trust that you will find the above order and await your swift compliance. Imagine someone stealing a TV from you, and then you filing a police report because they stole the TV, and then you get a letter from an attorney saying, don't file a police report, victim. You don't get to talk about this, instead of just giving the TV back, right? So here's my counter demand. It's long. I'm in receipt of the above referenced letter. Allow it to serve as my response and counter demand. You state that your client was contacted by me and that I provided them with an hour, to which she complied with no proof of watermark or registered trademark. First and foremost, she removed the watermark. But secondly, I'm not required to register images, not in America and not in South Africa. So I stated, I was made aware that your client was illegally infringing on it and removing my watermark and placing them on hers to advertise and book sessions and profit off my property in violation of U.S. and South African copyright laws. And as you should be aware, in South Africa, images don't have to be registered for copyright protection to sue for infringement. The law automatically applies from the moment they're created, and the same applies for United States of America. Your statement that she was not provided with a watermark or trademark is inaccurate and not well taken. I contacted her demanding she cease and desist, and this is your client stealing my images, removing my watermark, and placing it over hers. This is my original work she stole. Below is your client's theft. My original work, the work she stole, the original work, the original work. Here are just a few. I have hundreds of examples. I also discovered she had several of my other images on her website. Your client stated that she admitted infringement, blamed it as a sabotage by admin that she terminated, and stated she would go through her pages and remove. She did not, and she still has not. She then claimed that she purchased digital backgrounds that were on her website directly from me. I responded that her response was not honest, that I was aware she was using my images for years, and it wasn't possible for her admin to be responsible if her actions were only in the last week. Additionally, the claim that her admin was sabotaging her by booking sessions with my intellectual property to create profit makes no sense. And I also stated she never purchased anything from me. I also provided her a video showing my images on her website. She was unable to provide proof of purchase because Lloyd never purchased anything from me. She has been illegally downloading my images, removed my copyright watermark, and placed hers over. Again, I have hundreds of examples of this. Here's an example of below. Your client's theft of an image of my stepdaughter she took, photoshopped the head of another child onto it, removed my watermark, and placed hers. Again with the grids. Here's her blaming website developers for stealing those images, removing my watermarks and putting them on her website as far back as 2017. She then stated she would have her developers remove the images from her website. It is very clear that your client infringed. She's been stealing my images for at least 8 years, and I have evidence to prove it. Your client blamed everyone but herself for the theft. Your client removed my watermark, used the images to advertise sessions, build her business, and to profit. She infringed on my intellectual property for 8 years. You stated that your office then provided our client with an hour to remove the said images, and she complied. This is also false. Here's a screenshot of her page from this morning at 5:04 a.m. on March 27th. That shows that she continues to infringe on my copyright. In this particular image that I show here, she has used it 39 times. That's just one example of the hundreds of times that Tanisha Lloyd with Angelic has used my work illegally and continues to use my work illegally. You stated, notwithstanding above, your office, yourself, and various individuals have persisted with online harassment of my client via social media and other platforms, including local advertising. We are of the opinion that these actions violate various laws, including but not limited to cyberbullying. This is false and not well taken. Upon discovering your client's egregious and intentional infringement on my work that resulted in profits and harmed my business, I began collecting evidence of her unlawful actions, and I left a review for her business on Facebook to publicly protect my intellectual property that she was illegally using to profit and cause confusion in the industry. My review was factual, honest, and protected by law. Lloyd immediately blocked me and removed the reviews from her page. Instead of removing my work, she locked down other social media profiles in an apparent effort to conceal her continued actions to infringe. I responded to Lloyd's emails notifying her that I was aware of her infringement and I would be invoicing her for the unauthorized use of my property, but she failed to pay the invoices. Then I shared my review on TikTok as well. This review stated that Tanisha Lloyd, photographer and owner of Angelic stole my images, removed my watermark, and used them illegally, and that is all factual. As you are aware, defending intellectual property and removing the intended confusion in the market is a legal requirement to protect and take action on the infringement of said IP. As you are also aware, sharing honest reviews about an experience with a company is protected by laws in both our countries. Instead of your client doing the honorable thing and responding to my request for payment, she used fake profiles to actually harass me. And this is how. Cyberbullying, harassment, and defamation. On March 25th, your client Lloyd made a fake profile on TikTok under user NCS and followed only 3 people. 2 people named Tara Mapes, I assumed she believed was me, and my photography account, Tara Mapes Photography. She commented on my video, calling me a bully, stating my legally protected review was illegal, and called for action against me. On March 26th, she instructed a fake profile under the name Jeannie to actually make extremely defamatory comments on my public post, stating, including but not limited to, Tara Mapes is a liar. I threatened a mother of 2. I spammed her with fake emails and phishing sites, that I am unstable. I have a track record for psycho behavior, that my posts were false narratives, that I steal people's work, and that I have fraudulent websites to invoice. All of this made it very clear that this was your client harassing me. Your client then started copying and pasting the same accusations and slanderous statements in reply to my customers and friends on the post, further attempting to harm me. This is an actual example of defamation. You will not find any evidence of defamation from me. My posts are factual. Here's some screenshots of the comments from who I believe is Tanisha. Especially with the invoicing comment, I didn't copy anyone on the invoices that I sent her, which, by the way, came from PayPal, not a phishing site. And so then I move on. Notwithstanding, you have persisted with online harassment. This is false. In fact, I've only contacted your client the following times. On March 27th, a cease and desist, which your client responded to. I responded to her email. She responded to that. I responded to her email. She responded to that. 2 days later, my response to her email was that I was aware of the additional infringement, request her attorney, details, and payment. She didn't respond, so I sent a final email on the 25th. So there's been no other direct contact with Tanisha. None of that is harassment. In fact, it was very civil until your client realized she was actually being held responsible. On the other hand, your client contacted, harassed, stalked, bullied, and threatened me outside of the email shown above. Regarding your statement, various individuals have persisted with online harassment. To that, I have no knowledge or legal obligation. I'm not responsible for the actions of others, and my honest reviews of her have not called on anyone to do the same. So if you have issues with them, direct that to them. Then you state, in respect of the above, we are hereby instructed to provide you with a final demand for you and your associates and your office to desist from the actions and remove all negative reviews. Here's my response. Under the threat of criminal and civil action. That's illegal. Here's my response. I will not remove any negative reviews. My honest reviews are protected by law, and your request that I remove them under the threat of legal action is illegal. In the United States, under the Consumer Review Fairness Act and under South Africa's Consumer Protection Act. So I'll continue to share my reviews, my experience, my posts, videos, and evidence of her illegal actions until I am restored, as I'm legally entitled to do. Your client doesn't get to steal from me, infringe on my copyright, harm my business, profit from my business, defame me, and then demand that I don't talk about it. There is no law that protects such criminal acts from consequences. It is very clear that your office does not have all the facts here and may now very well understand the gravity of your client's illegal actions and the legal ramifications as a result. I am the victim here, not your client. Your client has infringed on my intellectual property for 8 years. I have well-documented evidence of the same. Your client is using fake profiles to harass, slander, and bully me for sharing my review of her infringing actions and is now engaging your office to illegally threaten me for leaving protected reviews. This is not well taken. Your client's arrogance regarding her actions is reprehensible. She has done nothing to restore me from the harm she has caused my business. Your client's refusal to respond to my request for settlement discussions highlights her intention to get away with her actions without consequences. Your client is guilty of infringement, and she will need to settle this matter in or out of court for it to be resolved. Ignoring me, threatening me, and continuing to infringe is only exacerbating and adding to the damage she caused me and my business. So let this notice serve as a response to your demand and a counter demand for the following. Immediately cease and desist from infringing on my property, your client. Delete all instances of my intellectual property from social media and online platforms. Preserve all relevant records, including ads, sales, profits, communications for legal purposes. Cease and desist harassing, bullying, and defaming me. Provide all records of profits made from every image infringed on from 2017 to present. Once profits are discussed and usage tallied, then we will need to discuss settlement. She will also need to admit guilt. She has via email, but she's blamed other people. And publicly apologize to me for infringement and harassment. If your client is unwilling to mitigate damages and settle the matter outside of court, I will be taking further legal action against your client and her business as a legal route, as I have always done and continue to do. Please confirm that you will be the attorneys on file to serve with the lawsuit if this is where it goes, and provide your physical mailing address since it's missing from your letter. Obviously, you want to avoid that with your client if you're acting in a way that you're in your client's best interest. I have been and continue to be open discussing settlement that includes monetary compensation, admission of guilt, and an apology. That would be a better option for all parties. As we both know, court is a lengthy and costly option. I'm currently finalizing a federal infringement lawsuit I won against another company for stealing my work like your client has. And the reason I sued them was the same reason I will sue your client. They ignored me and didn't want to do the honorable thing. While settlement is the best option, I'm also very equipped in both knowledge and evidence to move forward with every available legal action until I'm restored and Lloyd is held accountable. Justice is my priority. I am the victim. Your client committed illegal acts, stole from my company for 8 years, then harmed me further through bullying and slander. I will not be silenced. I will be restored. The evidence I shared here and I have collected supports everything I've shared and in my reviews. Lloyd needs to do the right thing. Please respond with your client's intentions via email at the email address below. And there we go. This is the ugly underside of the belly of the creative world. People often, when they're caught infringing, they will apologize, and the closure will be the closure. If they use it and they profit from it, I send an invoice and it's over, as it should be. In some cases, the infringement is maybe not intentional. They're resharing something, or they downloaded the image and they didn't remove copyright, and it's just a discussion. The most important part is that there's an open discussion, admission, and apology, because victims like me need to be restored. However, I have never had this level of infringement occur against my business. When I say that I have hundreds of examples, I actually have hundreds of examples. I actually filed so many DMCA takedowns with Facebook that I was blocked from using their DMCA takedown feature, which is also against the DMCA rules. They are required to provide a method of reporting, and I'm dealing with that legally as well. So not only are people who artists who are infringed on harmed, just the sheer time that we have to invest in getting the evidence together, communicating, the stress of it. I spent 14 hours getting links together of all of the different times she's infringed. Then we have to deal with the infringers being arrogant and trying to silence us and take actions against us. I'm not worried about this letter. I'm not doing anything wrong. I will continue to share. In fact, I'm recording this right after I sent the counter demand, and I'm posting this because people need to be educated. They need to know what their rights are. They need to understand the deep impact that this has. And my experience is an honest experience of a victim. And I'm going to keep updating the public on how this goes. I don't usually share these things because it happens so often and nobody, wants drama, if per se, but I'm tired of this being classified with drama. This is a legal issue. This is no different than if someone broke into your house and stole something that you loved and a property of yours, and you filed a police report, you told somebody about it. I'm tired of artists being made to be quiet because other people get annoyed by the drama that we have to suffer through. So this is educational. This is honest. This is my review of Tanisha Lloyd with Angelic Ice Photography in South Africa. And I will not be silenced.